Hello, good evening, namaskaram, vanakkam. Welcome to TAPOVAN Sangal Zoom show on this Sunday, 23rd of August 2020, on the Saturday, sorry, 23rd of August 2025. This is our episode number 187, and we propose to put more shows on as we go on. Well, we recently celebrated Krishna Jayanti a little while ago, and in continuation of this celebration, we have a guest speaker this evening joining us from Coimbatore. This is Brindha Ganesh, who will speak to us on SARVAM KRISHNAMAYam. Well, we'll get to know more unknown things about Lord Krishna, and we'll be more educated by that. Welcome to the show, Brinda. Well, as we should begin the show with a prayer followed by the guest introduction. Thereafter, the guest speaker will take on for her completion. We will have an open session wherein you all can put our views, observation, comments, feedback, and even ask questions. The guest will be more than happy to answer. And finally, we'll wrap it up with a summary and full of thanks. All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's kickstart the show. Coming up first is a prayer. Joining us from Bengaluru is Mr. P.A. Srinivasan to say the prayer for us. Srinivasan, sir, please go ahead. Unmute your mic and go ahead.
कृष्णो रक्षतु नो जगद्गुरो कृष्णो नमस्याम्यहौ कृष्णे नामरसत्तो विनिहतः कृष्णाय तुभ्यो नमः कृष्ण देव समुदितं जगदिदौ कृष्णस्य दासोऽस्म्यहौ कृष्णे तिष्ठति सर्वमेतदखिलौ हे कृष्ण रक्षस्व माम् कृष्ण रक्षस्व माम् कृष्णानि भेगने भारो कृष्णानि भेगने भारो बुद्धु कृष्ण सिद्धि कृष्ण बालकृष्ण कृष्ण कृष्ण राधा कृष्ण निवेगने बारो बेगने बारो बेगने बारो निन्न मुखवल्ले तोरो कृष्ण बेगने बारो मुखवल्ले तोरो बेगने बारो मुखवल्ले तोरो बेगने बारो मुखवल्ले तोरो से कृष्ण ही बेगने बारो काशी पीतांबर ಕೈಯಲ್ಲಿ ಕೊಳಲು ಕಾಶಿ ಪೀತಾಂಬರ ಕೈಯಲ್ಲಿ ಕೊಳಲು ಕುಸಿದ ಸಿಗಂಧ ಮೈಯೊಳ್ಳೆಲಿರಲು ಪೂಸಿದ ಸಿಗಂಧ ಮೈಯೆಲ್ಲ ಇರಲು ಶ್ರೀ ಕೃಷ್ಣಾನಿ ಬೇಗನೆ ಬಾರೋ ಕಾಲನೊಂದಿಗೆ ಗೆಜ್ಜೆ ಕರದಲ್ಲಿ ಬಾವುಲಿ ಕರಳುಗೆ ಗೆಜ್ಜೆ ಕರದಲ್ಲಿ ಬಾವುಲಿ ಇಲಲೋಹಿತನೇ ನೀನು ನಾಟ್ಯವಾಡುತ್ತ ಬಾರೋ ಕೃಷ್ಣ ನೀಲಲೋಹಿತನೇ ನಾಟ್ಯವಾಡುತ್ತ ಬಾರೋ ಶ್ರೀ ಕೃಷ್ಣ ನೀ ಬೇಗನೆ ಬಾರೋ ತಾಯಿಗೆ ಬಾಯಲ್ಲಿ ತಾಯಿಗೆ ಬಾಯಲ್ಲಿ ಜಗವೆಲ್ಲ ತೋರಿದ ತಾಯಿಗೆ ಬಾಯಲ್ಲಿ ಜಗವಲ್ಲೇ ತೋರಿದ ಜಗದೋದ್ಧಾರಕ ನಮ್ಮ ಉಡುಪಿ ಕೃಷ್ಣ ಜಗದೋದ್ಧಾರಕನೇ ನಮ್ಮ ಉಡುಪಿ ಕೃಷ್ಣ ಕೃಷ್ಣ ನೀ ಬೇಗನೆ ಬಾರೋ ಬಾಲಕೃಷ್ಣ ಮುದ್ದು ಕೃಷ್ಣ ಚಿನ್ನಿ ಕೃಷ್ಣ ಬೆಣ್ಣೆ ಕೃಷ್ಣ ರಾಧಾ ಕೃಷ್ಣ ಗೋಪಾಲ ಕೃಷ್ಣ ನೀ ಬೇಗನೆ ಬಾರೋ ಕೃಷ್ಣ ನೀ ಬೇಗನೆ ಬಾರೋ ರಾಧೆ ಕೃಷ್ಣ. ಥ್ಯಾಂಕ್ ಯು.
Srivastava sir, a very appropriate song for this evening show. Very well performed by you. Thank you so much. Well, we move into the next segment of introducing the guest speaker. Well, Brindha is not new to us. She's been with us a number of times. But then we have a protocol to follow, and for the benefit of new joiners this evening, introduction becomes necessary. Mrs. Vijayalakshmi Nagarajan has the details. Vijayalakshmi madam, please go ahead.
Good evening, all of you.
Good evening.
Glad to welcome you all. Also, our guest speaker, the youngest and well-known speaker, Mrs. Brindha Ganesh, to our show on your behalf. இப்படி தமிழ்ல சொல்லுவோம், மூர்த்தி சிறுசானாலும் கீர்த்தி பெருசு அப்படின்னு. அந்த மாதிரி மிஸ்ஸஸ் பிருந்தா கணேஷ் வயசுல சின்னவராக இருந்தாலும் அவர் பேசக்கூடிய விஷயங்கள் ரொம்ப பெரிய விஷயங்களை பத்தி பேச போறாங்க. Today, she has selected one such topic, SARVAM KRISHNAMAYAM. I am sure today she will handle this subject very brilliantly as usual. ஏன்னாக்க பிரேயர் மூலம் ஸ்ரீனிவாசன் கிருஷ்ணரை வர வச்சு உட்கார வச்சுட்டார். சர்வம் கிருஷ்ணமயம், பேச போறவரும் கிருஷ்ணர், அங்க உட்கார்ந்து கேட்கிற போறவரும் கிருஷ்ணர். அதனால இன்னைக்கு ரொம்ப பிரில்லியண்டா இருக்கும் நம்மளுடைய மேடத்தோட ஸ்பீச் அப்படின்னு சொல்லிக்கிறேன். The whole universe is the manifestation of God. பகவான் சச்சித் ஆனந்தமானவர். இதை பத்தி கேட்க we have to wait for another few minutes to listen to her speech. Before her speech, let us know a few things about her family, profession and interests through her profile page. Over to Madam Profile. One. Mrs. Brindha Ganesh, Madam, was born and brought up in Calcutta. Though away from Calcutta, but is still a Calcuttan at heart. She works for Indian Overseas Bank and is presently a senior manager at Coimbatore main branch. An ardent devotee of Gurudev Sri Sri Ravi Shankar Ji and a practitioner of Sudarshan Kriya. She has been associated with the art of living for more than 10 years and has become a teacher of the happiness program of art of living. Her husband and 2 sons are stationed at Bangalore. With this brief introduction, let me welcome and hand over the stage to Brindha Madam. Sarvam Krishnarpanamastu.
Thank you, Madam, for the wonderful introduction with the precursor. It was really, very nice. And it's now time for the guest speaker to take over, ladies and gentlemen. As always, we'll have mic in mute status so that we do not get the thought process of speaker. Her completion, we'll have an open session. விஜயவர்தன் சார் கிருஷ்ணா சொன்னார், கிருஷ்ணா நீ பேகனே பாரோ. நான் சொல்றேன், பிருந்தா நீ பேகனே பாரோ.
தேங்க்யூ. பேகனே முடிச்சுட்டு போயிடலாம். Okay. So good evening, Mango. We'll start as usual with the Guru Vandana. Mannath Shri Jagannath Madgurum Shri Jagadgurum Madatma Sarva Bhutatma Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Gurur Brahma Gurur Vishnu Gurur Devo Maheshwaraha Guru Sakshat Param Brahma Tasmai Shri Gurave. Thank you, Srinivasan sir, for that wonderful prayer which is start off and so aptly chosen, no, the song. And Vijayalakshmi madam as usual. I don't know. I'm happy if you people find my speech nice, and I'm very, very thankful to Subramaniam ji also for always encouraging me, to come and speak on the. In fact, 2 days back he called me and wanted me to speak about banking, and minnadi sollina maybe pannirukla. I said no. I'm day and night we are doing banking, so maybe some other time. And somehow this thought came to me that we talk about Sarvam Krishnamayam. We know Sarvam Brahmamayam. I know, sir, topic apdi irukku. Ana yaar solra? Who says Sarvam Krishnamayam? Now, like Vijayalakshmi madam introduced me. To those of you who don't know me, she introduced me. Or maybe first time I would have given a small profile to Subramaniam ji, which is still being carried over now. So, okay. So, about number, nee yaarinu ketara number solluvom. I say that I myself, I tell about myself. That is when you know about me. Similarly, when you introduce yourself to me, that is when I will know, people will know about you. Lord Krishna himself in the Bhagavad Gita, the song of the divine, he says, Aham sarvasya prabhavo mataha sarva pravartate, that I am everything, I am the source of all creation, everything in this world has come from me. So Sarvam Krishnamayam na avare chalra. 5,000 years back, or Bhagavad Gita, it's still relevant today. 5,000 years later, Bhagavad Gita is now as a management, it is looked upon as a management mantra book also. People look to that. Why does he say that? And also, what does he say? He also says, Maam ekam sharanam vraja. Come to me, surrender to me alone. India is a land of, 33 koti, they say there's so many crores of devatas. But amongst that, Lord Krishna says, you come to me, I am what? The world has come from me. Everything in the world is from me, and everything will dissolve into me also and come to me. And he says, if you do Maam ekam sharanam brother, then I will absolve you of all sins. Ma shuchaha, he says, worry not. Because you always wonder, no? Wherever even if you're going to a doctor, you'll wonder, is he good enough to treat me? Wherever you're going, you will have some doubts. You'll do some research. Maybe you will search it up on Google to see the reviews and the ratings, and then go there. Here he says, worry not. And when it comes from the best in the industry, as you can say, then you have nothing to worry about. And chapter 10 is full about his glories. He speaks about his own glory. He says, among the 12 sons of Aditi, I am Vishnu. Among the Rudras, I am Shiva. Among the stars, I am the moon. Among the Yakshas, I am Kubera. The best of everything. And he goes on and on and on. So on and so forth. It appear to be boasting. Now, I know this, I know that. Channale boasting. I am the best of the best. There's this Jeffrey Archer book, best among equals. So not even best among, he says, I'm the best of everything. When he says that, it is not mere boasting, when it is coming from the lips of the Lord himself. When he says everything has come from me and come to me, why is he telling all this, that I am the greatest? If everything is Krishna, if Sarvam Krishnamayam, then why should he say? He should only say, I'm there in every living being. Living, or living, non-living being, everything is permeated by me. But why is he saying that among the best, among the mountains, I am the Himalayas or the Meru, among the fire, I am Agni. The best. In every category, there is a best. There is a category, in every category or classification, there are different levels of perfection. Then why we should understand with whatever it is that he says, fear, fearlessness, dharma, adharma, everything is because of that one divinity only. Not only the good people, even in the evil people, the same Krishna consciousness, the same universal consciousness is permeating. What happens? The human mind is scattered all over. And where does it run to? Mind is scattered. Even if you're sitting here, I'm talking, you're listening, maybe your mind is scattered. Maybe my mind is also scattered somewhere. Where does the mind run? This is the nature of the mind. Because I'm a teacher of Sudhashilpi, I always come back to this topic also somewhere. The nature of the mind is to wander. It keeps going. But where does it go? The mind goes to anything which is grand, which is majestic, which is beautiful. Wherever there is joy, there is happiness, something unique. Wherever there is something unique, beautiful, grand, majestic, that is where the mind runs to. In fact, நம்மளோட கோவில் எல்லாம் பகவானுக்கு அலங்காரம் பண்றது காரணமே அதுதான். So that all your senses are centered on the Bhagavan. Beautiful, colorful flowers, a lot of jewelry. Women will be attracted to the, color combination of the goddess's sari and the jewelry she is wearing. The drums are beat so that you don't hear anything else, but your entire concentration is there. So basically, everything is just a focus of the mind. So that is how the mind, when it's scattered everywhere, when Lord Krishna, the scattered or the running mind, when he's trying to concentrate it or bring it on to the highest, the ideal that is possible, then he's telling everything is because of me. So Krishna is beautiful. We know that. Krishna is beauty personified. So he says, when I am there, then we know as humans also we have this potential to be the best. Whatever our levels are, we have the potential to be the best. And when Krishna is the ideal, when he's setting that example, he's trying to bring out the best in us by telling us, and each one of us is capable, to become the most refined personality. In fact, it is said that it's only in the human birth that you can attain moksha or liberation. Anyway, Pashu Pakshi and all that, they don't have any karma. They can evolve and become human beings, but it is only in the human birth that we have this combination of free will and destiny. So with our free will, with our sadhana, with our efforts, we can improve ourselves or reach that highest goal which Krishna wants us to go. Like Krishna said, no, I permeate everything. We came from him, everything came from him, everything will dissolve into him. He also wants that. He also wants that we all go back to him. So he's motivating that by telling all this, that I am Indra, Indra among the Devas, I am the Vishnu among the sons of Aditi and all that. And then in chapter 11, he shows it to Arjuna. Why he shows this to Arjuna? He starts the Bhagavad Gita by telling Arjuna that Arjuna is capable of receiving this knowledge. In the midst of the battlefield, lakhs of people arrange or ready for battle. Krishna reveals the Bhagavad Gita, fortunately for us. So because it has come down to us because Krishna, when Arjuna went into Vishada Yoga, that is why the Bhagavad Gita came into being. So Krishna says this to Arjuna, he addresses him, you are my dear friend. And Arjuna is Anasuya. Anasuya is a very beautiful word. He says, not a fault-finding nature. Asuya is a person who finds fault, in everything. They give the classic example, on a white sheet of paper, if there's one black dot, our mind goes to that, our eyes go to that. Or whatever happens in, everywhere that we try to find faults. And Arjuna is not of that nature. And Krishna gives that as a prime criteria for receiving the highest knowledge. He says, because you are Anasuya, because you don't have that fault-finding nature, and because you are my good friend, I am revealing these things to you. And in chapter 11, he shows him the Vishwarupa. And of course, Sanjaya, because of the blessing, Sanjaya is able to see that, and he was able to relate it to Dhritarashtra. But then he says, so when he shows that Vishwarupa, we all know that Vishwarupa, then everything in the universe is sustained in that. To Ma Yashoda, he opened his mouth and showed the world inside. But here he's showing every form possible or available in this creation is within that Vishwarupa. So much so that Arjuna got scared and he said, you come back as that Chaturbhuja. He said, you come back as my Chaturbhuja friend. Now, and I want to see the friendly form of Krishna, not this Vishwarupa. Okay, I agree. Having seen this, I agree that you are the source of creation and all. But then he says, please come back to your form. Chaturbhuja again, not necessarily. Krishna was not as the four, Vishnu, Chaturbhuja, he was not in that form. But Chaturbhuja also means Chatur in Hindi means, or Sanskrit also means skillful. And Krishna was the most skillful person. So why Krishna? Sarvam Krishnamayam. We start with Krishnamayam and we see where we'll end. So why not Shiva or Brahma? The Trinity, we know Trimurti are there. So why not Shiva? Why not Brahma? Why not Vishnu? Why not the other avatars of Vishnu? We all have our Ishta Devatas, no? And so when I chose the topic, no, quite a few feathers would have been ruffled. We have our own Ishta Devatas. We do Upasana of our own Devatas, our own Devas, Bhagwans. So who are the gods or Devas? Basically, the entire world is full of energy. Everything is energy, everything is that consciousness. So Devas are specific constituted forms of energy, capable of having certain siddhis and capable of granting boons. So the infinity has diverse qualities, and specific qualities assume names, and they are called angels. Infinity has diverse qualities, and specific qualities assume names, and they are called angels. So there are the aradhanas for different deities. You do aradhana for different deities, and then they bring the specific results. So the results are also limited and finite. Like, you pray to Lord Ganesha we'll be praying to Lord Ganesha now in a couple of days. So you pray as a, remover of obstacles. You pray to Saraswati for learning and Vidya. You pray to Indra for the rains, Lakshmi for wealth. What kind of wealth? It's not just material wealth as in gold and jewelry and money in the bank. But the 8 types of wealth, no? There's said to be 8 types of wealth. Wealth as a material comfort is one wealth. But then the others are more important. We all know that, at this stage of our lives, it meant wealth as health. Then wealth as success, wealth as courage. Wealth as friendliness, wealth as skill, wealth as dignity, and wealth as memory of the source. So the Ashta wealth actually are material comfort, health, success, courage, friendliness, skill, dignity, and memory of the source. Memory of the source means we all came from that Krishna consciousness. We all came from that one consciousness, but we are not aware of it. We do not know it. That is why we are seeking. The whole of this lifetime is to go back to that source. And where is that source? That source is within us. So that's why maybe we listen to, something, knowledge of the higher knowledge. We listen to that. We do our aradhana so that we are getting a glimpse, and we do meditation, puja, so that we get a glimpse of what we are, the source that we are, where we came from, and where we will go to also. Actually, in the Ganesha Atharva Shisha, it is said, in fact, everywhere, Tvam Rudram, Tvam Agni, Tvam Vishnu, Tvam Brahma, it says all that.
நான் வீடியோ வைக்க மாட்டேன், நீ இன்னும் வச்சுக்கோ.
Kichumama, keep yourselves muted. Okay, so Ganesha Atharva Shisha, you can hear that everywhere in the puja pandals in Maharashtra and all. Tvam Brahma, Tvam Indra, Tvam Rudram, Tvam Vishnu, Ellan Jalva. So, Ellame Durga Stuti, Devi Bhagavatam Padambodha, Rudra Kekumbodha, Ellame, every quality of every god is attributed to that particular god. So my Gurudev always says, jiski barat usi ki gundan hoti hai. Jiski barat, yaar kalyanmo, yaar varalo, avalada sudipa. So every god, so the Sarvam Krishnamayam cholro mein, but actually the same divinity, same consciousness is there everywhere. Only we should realize that. Lord Shiva, like I said, why not the Trinity? Why only Krishna or Vishnu? Why not Lord Shiva? Brahma, of course, generally keeps a low profile. Shiva is the original Adi Yogi. Shiva Mari or ascetic or, nobody can do penance like Lord Shiva. He is found in meditation in the coldest climes, Himalayas, Mount Kailash, Alokan, with hardly any clothes on. He just sits there in meditation for hours and hours and hours together, and his meditation is of a different kind. He will be totally in the meditative state and yet aware of whatever is happening to him. Our physical comforts one down. And he does not come to the world as an avatara. He comes to the rescue of his devotees, who once he comes and fulfills their desires. But he doesn't come to the world, has not born in the world as Lord Krishna is. Basically, he chooses to remain out of the system. Shiva does not come to the system. He's happy in his own world, in his own being. Our Bhattaka, happily meditating. But Lord Vishnu comes to this world as an avatara. He is born. One of the greatest, what do you call it? Human porkarthoda greatest thing is the physical process of birth. Also, that also the Lord Krishna has undergone that process, and he's come to this world for whose benefit? For our benefit. He's Avatara Purusha. He comes. Yada yada hi dharmasya glanirvavati sada. I come again and again. Wherever there is righteousness is on the decline. Adharma jasti ardo dharma in the Koreado, there I will come, he says. And why he comes in the body, he'll say, for the protection of the virtuous and destruction of the evildoer. Forever, ever, I will come and establish dharma again. I will manifest from age to age. He tells this. No, he comes. Lord Vishnu is, and he is also in his own way, he is happy in his setting. He is happily sitting in the milky ocean on Adisesha, happily there. He doesn't come when there is injustice. There are a lot of injustice. We look around in the world, there's a lot of injustice happening to you and me and everybody else. Adhikalam varamata. He will come only when there is a basic shift, a total shift in the balance, when unrighteousness or adharma is more and dharma, the good people, the sages, the rishis, munis, today's days and age, you can say, when they are put to trouble, then he will come to set right the balance. He will come, whether you call him or not. There is a Gajendra Moksha. He comes to, when Gajendra calls, he will come. When Draupadi calls, he will come. For the individual devotee, he will come as a guest appearance, do his job and then leave. But when there is unrighteousness, is on the rampant, then he will come without being called, because it's his job, as a, Brahma is a creator, Vishnu is the sustainer. He does the maintenance activity of this world. So he does his job well, He does his job well. So he comes and then he will destroy. Of course, he came for Prahalada. He took avatara as Lord Narasimha to destroy Hiranyakashipu and to protect Prahalada, because Prahalada is the supreme form of devotion portrayed by Prahalada, that small child, to show him what the world can be and how it can be done. So he takes his job very seriously, he takes his job of this thing. He takes birth, lives in the world, also sets an example of how he should be. So in Krishna Avatar, though different avatars were there were only a few in the human form. Initially, they were all different forms of life. Krishna is a Sampurna Avatara. 16 Kali irukara Sampurna Avatara is what Krishna is, Krishna Prati Peshina, there's nothing. All that is there in the world can be seen in Krishna, He's everything. He's a master strategist. He's a master tactician. Everything is Krishna. He knows when to fight, how to talk, when to talk, what to talk, how to fight. He also runs away from the, when to retreat or run away also. There is a story. He's called Ranchod also. Krishna is called Ranchod. Ranchod is running away from the battlefield. Krishna has done that also. There was once Jarasandha had waged war on Mathura. He had waged war, and he had come with another Ashura called Kalyavan. Kalyavan was a very fierce Ashura who had got Shiva's boon. Not Shiva Terime. So he had come, I think he had some, that he could not be destroyed very easily. So at that time, very strategically, not Krishna. You and I will stand there and fight, even if we die, we say, no, Mana Maryada than Jastina. He runs away from that battlefield. And which is why today also, I think in Gujarat, he's worshipped as Ranchod. He runs away into a cave, and he goes into a cave. In that cave, of course, Krishna does whatever he does with a purpose and with an end in view. So in that cave, there is one king called Muchkund who was sleeping. He had also had some, fierce battle, and he was resting in that cave and sleeping. And he had a boon saying that if anybody wakes him up from sleep and he looks at them, then they will be turned to ashes. And Krishna went into that cave, seeing him sleeping and knowing, of course, the background. What he takes is Pitamra Vastra and puts it on his male Vastra and puts it on him, and then hides in that cave somewhere else. So now Kalyavan is Even though Krishna has run away from the battlefield, Kalyavan is chasing him, and he comes into the cave and he's thinking, oh, Krishna is such a coward. Not only does he run away, he goes and sleeps. So he wakes him up. The moment he wakes him up, Raja Muchkund, he looks at him and he's turned into ashes. So whatever Krishna does, so there is, as I said, there is something behind it. So, and then he's turned to ashes. So he knows how to retreat also tactfully, how to use his words. Speaking of ashes is the other story we all know about, no? Bhasmasura. We were talking about Shiva also and how Shiva gives his boons, no? Shiva, as usual, anybody who's pleased with him, Shiva is a great ascetic, but sincerely, if you're praying to Shiva, whatever you ask, he won't see. He will just give him the boon. So he gave the boon to Bhasmasura, saying that whoever Bhasmasura wanted that, whoever I place my hand on, they should be turned to ashes. Okay, Shiva gives him the tathastu. And Asuras, as usual, benefactor turned, you become the first victim, no? Whoever is benefacting you, he says, let me try it out on you. You've given me the boon, but whether it's working or not, let me see. Then what does he do? He tries to put his hand on Lord Shiva, and Lord Shiva, as usual, where do you run to? Shiva cannot run. He can run to Shiva or Vishnu, but where can he run? Our Odipaita, he goes to Vaikunta, he goes and asks Vishnu for help. Then, as usual, Vishnu has got nothing else to do. He has to help him, no? Somebody, whatever boons Lord Shiva has given or the Brahma has given, for all Ashura Samhara, either Vishnu has to come or his sister, Devi has to come. These people will give their the boons and sit, just come and plead to them for help. So then he comes, he takes the form of Mohini and challenges Bhasmasura. Bhasmasura, obviously, when he's seeing Mohini, who will not be captivated? We are captivated by the form of Shiva, Krishna himself. And when he takes the form of Mohini, then naturally we'll be fully captivated. So he's captivated and he wishes to marry her. Then she says, only I'll challenge you to a dance. If you win in the dance against me, then I shall marry you. Then okay, she dances. Luckily, I think for Bhasmasura, for us also, for Shiva also, he also knows how to dance. So they get into a fierce dance. Whatever dance steps she's doing, he's imitating those steps. He's also replicating those steps, not imitating, replicating those steps. And then finally, she comes to the scene where she puts her hand on her head. Then when he does that, he burns into ashes. He turns into ashes. So hence, that is how Vishnu helps Shiva. Many instances of this, one such instance. So this is Lord Shiva. He's a Bholenath. He's a Bhole Baba. He grants boons to all and sundry. You come and ask him with sincere devotion and tapasya, he'll give you. He can't say no. In fact, Brahma, at least sometimes, he modifies. People generally go and ask for immortality. He'll say, no, I can't give you pure immortality. I put some conditions. So he does some modifications to whatever the Bhakta or the sadhak wants, and he gives those boons. Sometimes it's been wondered, why after years and years of penance, the Rakshasas or whoever, they want immortality. You have to get the highest. You do years of tapasya standing on one leg without food, and then you ask only for immortality. So much attachment we have, to this body, to this mind, to these thoughts, because that's all we know. Even though we know there is something higher, we have not had a glimpse of that, nor do we even, very few people who are blessed to even have a knowledge or a quest for something higher. We limit ourselves. When I say Brindha, I think and portray this body, this mind, these thoughts. So we don't know. But always you see, all the Ashuras will ask for immortality. Anyway. And so as a result of all these boons of Lord Shiva or Brahmaji, Lord Vishnu invariably has to come to the world and do samhara. Samhara of these sometimes invincible, arrogant Asuras. Of course, Devi also does her role. Beautifully, she comes many times and she comes and does the Devi. Speaking of Devi, though, Mahishasura Mardini, we know, the Navratri is also around the corner. Mahishasura is also supposed to have an amsha of Shiva. While preparing for this topic, I was going through some YouTube videos and I got this story. It's so sweet. It said Mahishasura is also a part of one of those Shiva, because Shiva wanted the world to know Devi's strength. And who else can battle the Devi other than Shiva himself? So he gives a part of himself, an ansha of himself to inside Mahishasura, and that is why he's able to stand there and fight the Devi. And afterwards, when he's being slayed, he says that, make me immortal, let me get a part of the yajnas. And the yajnas, in the havan that you give to the yajnas, the Devatas and all fight for that, to get an offering of the yajnas. Very, very powerful. They all fight. And then she says, no, it cannot be done. See, the gods also, when they grant their boons, they have their limitations. They know what can be done, what cannot be done. Of course, if you, they say, no, yeah, you cannot have a part of the offerings, because that would be an insult to the other devatas. But wherever I am being worshipped, wherever Ma Durga, I am being worshipped, you will also be there. You will also get an offering of the flower. We see, most of us are from Calcutta, we know in a Durga Puja, she is always portrayed. Wherever Ma Durga is there, Mahishasura is also there. He is also garlanded. He is also done when the priest does the Aarti. He does Aarti to the Mahishasura also. So she grants him that you will also be worshipped along with me. What else does you want? No, you get Samhara at the hands of Devi or Vishnu, and then you're also there with him always. So that is what is required. So Lord Vishnu, Shiva, we said, Bholenath, Bhole Baba, he gives boons. Brahma also gives boons. Lord Vishnu never gives boons to Asuras or to the unrighteous. He will never give boons. He hardly give boons, and he will not give boons. Very, very clever person. No? Lord Vishnu will choose. He will never support adharma, because adharma is there and he has to come again to this world. No, he has to come. He has to set right things. No, he will never give. With his blessings only we can go on to the spiritual path. If at all you have to go to the spiritual path, so his blessings are required. Without that, it is impossible for anybody to walk the spiritual path. His name is Narayana. No? What is Narayana? Nar plus Ayana. Nar is human. Ayana is movement, path for the movement. So through Narayana only, the path, our human path, our movement has to be to Narayana, through Narayana. The movement is to Narayana, and through him only you can be there. So his support, his blessings are required for people to get onto the spiritual path. Sarvam Krishnamayam, one small story. One small story. Ma Parvati. Now Ganesha's birthday is there, day after tomorrow, 27. So Ma Parvati is throwing a birthday bash for Ganapati. So she's throwing a small party, pre-birthday party maybe. So she's throwing a party. So she's calling everyone. She's called all and sundry. And of course, she's called Narayana, who's her brother also, and the child's mama. But Lord Vishnu wanted to show maybe one of his leela. So he said, I'm busy, I am not coming. He said he's sending a representative from Vaikuntha. He's sending his representative. Oh, there's a big bash. Ma Annapurna herself is arranging the luncheon buffet, so you can imagine all kinds of varieties, everything, beautiful spread, sumptuous spread is there. So after the celebrations, lunch is being served. But then this representative of Vishnu, Lord Vishnu, he comes and he says, Ma Parvati, I take my leave, I have to go. She says, but how can you go without having your food? Food is ready, have your food. He said, no, in Vaikuntha we have not a rule, but we have a method that we will take darshan of Lord Vishnu, and then only we'll eat. Otherwise, we do not eat. So please allow me to go. I cannot eat here. I have to go to Vaikuntha, see my Lord, and then we eat. Then she knows, she's also after all the mother. So she smiles and she says, okay, you go. At least say bye to Lord Ganesha. Ganesha is the baby. He's tired. After all the celebrations, he's resting inside in his chambers. So you say, go see him, say bye, and then you can leave. So this representative of Vaikuntha goes to Ganesha's chamber, and there, instead of seeing that room and Ganesha, he sees the Milky Ocean, he sees Adisesha, and he sees Mahavishnu himself resting on Adisesha. So Sarvam Krishnamayam. So in Ganesha, he sees Vishnu. And then he comes back, he smiles at Parvati and says, now I'm ready to eat. And Ma Parvati is also very happy. She also knows what's happening. So she smiles, and then she And then she serves him. She serves him happily. He feeds him. So that is how, everywhere there is God. It is for us to see. Whether he actually saw Vishnu or his being a part of Vaikuntha, he would see Vishnu. But it is for us to see God everywhere. It is for us to see the divinity everywhere. That we are saying Sarvam Brahmamayam. I am part of the same consciousness. You are part of the same consciousness. Anna, what do? One simple mistake you make, I make such a big issue of it. One small thing happens to us. We don't see the divinity. We don't even see the humanity in people. Forget about divinity. Something to ponder about. No? The same divinity only when you're reading the Srimad Bhagavatam or listening to some Harikatha, and then that is when you feel, okay, the same divinity permeates everywhere. Not done. We should be able to see it in our day-to-day life, in our day-to-day activities, in our every interaction with everybody. We should be able to see the divinity. So you need the eyes to see the divinity. Like I said, no, the Shiva Purana talks about Shiva, Lord Shiva. He says the origin came from Shiva, everything is Shiva. Brahma Purana says this thing. And the Srimad Bhagavatam talks about Krishna being the highest. Devi Bhagavatam talks about Devi being the highest. So what happens is, so like I said, no, Gurudev said, Jiski Bharat, usi ki gungan hoti hai. Since the text is about Shiva, Shiva gets importance there. But if you ask Shiva, Lord Shiva in his Padma Purana, there's a Padma Purana in which he talks to goddess Parvati. And he says the worship of Sri Krishna or Lord Vishnu is the highest form of worship. Lord Shiva himself says worship of Lord Shiva is the highest form of worship. And Brahma also says that Vishnu is the only person to be worshipped. So that is something that we have to, this thing. In the Purusha Suktam, of course, it is said that, that Vishnu is the first form of, the first creation is Lord Vishnu. And from his navel came Brahma, who started the creation as we know it. Of course, different kalpas have different texts and they all pertain to those different kalpas. Rameshwaram, see, that's it, all the Trinity, they are all very, all of them have their importance and they give space to others also. Rameshwaram, they say, no, Rameshwaram, Shiva says, Ram jiske Ishwar hai. And Vishnu says, Ram ki Ishwar jo hai. So that is the Rameshwaram, no? Ram jiske Ishwar hai, Ram ki Ishwar hai jo. Ram ki Ishwar jo hai. So that is how they are, of course, a trinity who together run the world, run the universe. I mean, the universe happens. So the greatness is that it gives space to each other. One more small story. I think we'll have a very short session and almost to the end. So Lord Shiva once, it is said that, Muruga wanted to ask the name, somebody wanted to know the meaning of Om. Lord Brahma could not tell it. So Muruga first said, Lord Muruga said, I know the meaning of Om and I will give you the meaning of Om. Shiva asked him, he said, yeah, I know, I will let you know. And Shiva said, okay, go ahead and tell me. But then, no, Lord Muruga Om and all that, he said, no, if I am going to tell you the meaning of Om, I become your guru. And I am going to give you the knowledge. So I need a seat higher than yours. Imagine Lord Muruga, such a small baby, telling his own father, Lord Shiva, that I need a space, a seat higher than yours. Then Shiva smiles, and then what he does, small baby, he lifts him up and puts him on his shoulder. And then from there, he gives him the Pranava, meaning of the Pranava mantra. So why Lord Shiva will definitely know the meaning of Om. Why is he giving that? He is giving space to the others also, other devtas, other gods, also the space to grow, the space to learn, the space to shine also. We should give space to others also. So finally, as a human being, what is our dharma? Our dharma is to find out our true nature. And what is our true nature? That we are that light, we are that love, we are that peace. To achieve that. And how we can do that? Through devotion to the gods. You will find that the same consciousness is permeating everywhere. That you too are a part of this. But how do you reach the gods? To reach the God, to know about God, you need a guru. The guru, you need a guru. No, guru bina gati nahi. It is said, no, you cannot progress in this life on the spiritual path without a guru. So guru is a person who is required. The guru is a path to God. To traverse an unknown territory, what do? We take the help of GPS or a guide to help you traverse an unknown path. So GPS, we say, guru positioning system. Guru positions himself in your life and shows you the way to reach God, to touch base with yourself, your true nature. Unknown territory, our senses are always going outward. We don't know what is there inside of us. So to reach that territory, what we need a guru in our life. Guru is very important, It is said, no, Guru Govind do khade kake lagu paye, Balihari Guru aapne jin Govind diyo batai. Guru and Govind both were standing. And so the Bhakta is asking, he's wondering, to whom should I prostrate first? When Govinda is there and the Guru is there. And he said, Balihari Guru aapne. I will my first prostration, my first naman will go towards my Guru, who has shown me the Govinda, the path to Govinda. One more story or something which actually happened. There's one more small thing. I'll just tell you. In life, we have come. All of us have come, we have gone. So what question we should ask ourselves, are we a tourist or a pilgrim? Are we a tourist or a pilgrim? Both a tourist and a pilgrim are the same. They're on a journey. The tourist comes, he goes, looks, sees here, takes in, all the senses, through all his senses, takes pictures, comes home tanned and is tired. The pilgrim, and he's maybe not in the present moment, the tourist. The pilgrim goes with a feeling of sacredness. He's in the moment. He's looking for something else. When the tourist roams around, he takes pictures and all, he only to come back. That is the pilgrim. When he makes this journey sacred, he need not come back. Something to ponder about, whether we are a tourist or a pilgrim. Talking about pictures, another thing that my Guru Dev always says is that, the journey is from being to a camera to a mirror. The journey of a human being is from moving from a camera. We take camera, we take pictures and we store it. And those are the impressions that we carry in our mind, which we need to get rid of. So journey is in, don't be a camera, be a mirror. Just reflect back to the world. Reflect back. When the object moves away, the mirror remains untouched, clean. Because it gathers a lot of dust in the process. Our sadhana, our meditation, these are the things by which we can keep the mirror clean and polished. So this last story about a guru, Lord Shiva was once meditating. As always, he was meditating. He finished his meditation. Then he bowed down to the east and he was bowing down to the east. Then Goddess Parvati is asking him, who are you bowing down to? You are Lord Shiva. You are the greatest. Who are you bowing down to? He said, Na gurur adhikam, na gurur adhikam, na gurur adhikam, na gurur adhikam. Shiva shasanataha, Shiva shasanataha, Shiva shasanataha, Shiva shasanataha. 4 times he says, Na gurur adhikam, Shiva shasanataha. By the order of Shiva, there is nobody greater than a guru. Not once, twice, but 4 times he says, there is nobody greater than a guru. When does a devotee, when a river meets with the ocean, what happens when a river meets the ocean? It no longer remains a river. The river, as long as it's running to meet the ocean, once it reaches the ocean, it becomes the ocean. A drop of the ocean is also part of the ocean. So in the same way, the moment the devotee meets or surrenders to the divine, then he becomes God. It recognizes, the river recognizes that it was always the ocean. Similarly, once the devotee reaches God or surrenders to God totally, then it dissolves in that one divinity. Then God, Guru and Self are one. God, Guru and Self are one. So thou art that. You realize that, Sarvam Brahmamayam. We are also part of that Brahman. It is not Krishnamaya, it's Tatvamasi. What is Tatvamasi? Thou art that. So everything is God, Guru and Self are the one. That is the goal we have to reach to. Subramaniam sir, I am finished. Very short and I don't know what sweet.
That was a wonderful presentation. And you mentioned about Ran Chhod. The Ran Chhod is actually, Ran is a Ran Bhuti, the battlefield, and Chhod means to leave the battlefield.
Yeah,
so that need to be looked upon as a ploy or a strategy to eliminate the opponent with minimum efforts, which in fact has happened. When he went away from the battlefield, the demon followed him, and he found him sleeping. The moment he woke up and looked at him, the demon was turned into ashes. So that was eliminating the opponent with minimum efforts. So run short is actually at that point of time not a negative thing, it's more of a positive and a strategy which was followed. So thank you so much for the wonderful presentation, Brindha. We expect to have a more longer session with you in times to come. So nice to listen to what others have got to say. Ladies and gentlemen, open session. Kindly unmute your mic and over the rest of the book. Jayalakshmi Madam, you can start.
Good evening, madam.
Good
It was an excellent presentation, and you have explained how the universe is the manifestation of God. And two very small few short stories. You also explained how Krishna is the cause of all causes, and also the source of all causes also. அதை கேட்கறச்சே எனக்கு பாரதியாருடைய பாட்டு ஞாபகம் வந்தது. அவர் என்ன சொல்றாருன்னா, காக்கை சிறகினிலே நந்தலாலா உந்தன் கரிய நிறம் தோன்றுதடா நந்தலாலா, தீக்குள் விரலை விட்டால் நந்தலாலா உன்னை தீண்டும் இன்பம் தோன்றுதடா நந்தலாலா, பார்க்கும் இடங்களெல்லாம் நந்தலாலா உந்தன் பச்சை நிறம் தெரியுதடா நந்தலாலா அப்படின்னு எல்லா இடத்துலையும் காட் இஸ் ஆல் பெர்வேடிங் அப்படிங்கிறத பாரதி ரொம்ப சிம்பிளா சொல்லிருக்காரு. நீங்க வந்து நிறைய வித் த ஹெல்ப் ஆஃப் ஆல் கோட்ஸ் அண்ட் ஸ்மால் ஸ்டோரிஸ் with so many Puranas and all these things. You explained very well. Thank you, madam. Thanks a lot.
Okay. Radharaman, sir.
Yes, sir. Very good evening. மேடம் பிருந்தா அவர்களுக்கு என்னுடைய மனமார்ந்த பாராட்டுகள். ரொம்ப நல்லா இருந்தது. ஷார்ட் டைம்ல இன்னும் கூட அவங்க சொல்லியிருக்கலாங்க சார் சொன்ன மாதிரி. ஒன்று எனக்கு ஃபர்ஸ்ட் அவங்க ஆரம்பிச்சோடனே எனக்கும் ஐ ஆல்சோ ஹேட் த சேம் டவுட், ஒய் ஒன்லி கிருஷ்ணாங்கிறத அவ ஆரம்பத்திலே சொல்லிட்டா. அந்த மாதிரி ஒரு டவுட் எல்லாருக்கும் வருங்கிற மாதிரி, ஒய் ஒன்லி கிருஷ்ணா நாட் சிவா. அஃப்கோர்ஸ் பிரம்மா இஸ் சப்போஸ் டு பி ஸ்லைட்லி லாயர் இன் ஆர்டர். மற்றபடி சிவா அண்ட் விஷ்ணு தே ஆர் சப்போஸ் டு பி ஆன் ஈக்குவல் டேர்ம்ஸ். பட் ஒய் ஒன்லி கிருஷ்ணா அப்படிங்கிறதுக்கு சொன்னா, அந்த ரீசன் சொன்னா, நம்ம வந்து ராமனையும் கிருஷ்ணனையும் இடத்துல சொன்னோம் பூர்ணாவதாரம் அப்படிங்கிறத சொன்னா. ராமனும் கூட அந்த 16 கல்யாண குணங்களோடு இருந்தார். யார் ஹூ இஸ் த பர்சன் ஆன் தி எர்த் ஹூ இஸ் ஹேவிங் 16 ஸ்டெர்லிங் குவாலிட்டிஸ் சொன்ன போது நாரதர் ராமரை பத்தி தான் சொன்னார் அப்படின்னு சொல்றோம். ராமர் வந்து தர்மத்துக்காக அவர் எல்லாம் பண்ணினாராம். தர்மம் என்ன சொல்லித்தோ அதைத்தான் ராமன் கடைபிடிப்பார். ஆனா கிருஷ்ணரை பத்தி சொல்ற போது எல்லாரும் என்ன சொன்னாங்க, கிருஷ்ணர் செஞ்சதுதான் தர்மமா, அவர் என்ன செய்யறாரோ அதுதான் தர்மம். ராமர் வந்து தர்மம் என்ன சொல்லித்தோ அது செய்வார், ஆனா கிருஷ்ணர் என்ன செய்யறாரோ அதுதான் தர்மம். அதை எப்படியாவது ஹி வில் ஜஸ்டிஃபை இட். அந்த மாதிரி சொன்னதுனால ப்ராபப்ளி அந்த ஒரு சாமர்த்தியம் கிருஷ்ணருக்கு அதிகமா இருக்கிறதுனால சர்வம் விஷ்ணுமயம் ஜெகத்துன்னு சொல்லிட்டு ஜஸ்டிஃபை பண்ணலாம். நீங்க ரன்சோட பத்தி சொன்னேன். ரன்சோடு சொல்ற மாதிரி இட் இஸ் அ ஸ்ட்ராட்டஜி. டிஸ்கிரிஷன் இஸ் த பெட்டர் பார்ட் ஆஃப் வேலர்னு நம்மளே சொல்லியிருக்கோம். சமயத்துல எங்க ரெட்ரீட் பண்ணணுமோ அங்க பண்ணணும், எதுக்க வேண்டிய நேரத்தில் இருக்கணும். அஃபென்சிவ் அண்ட் டிஃபென்சிவ் போத் ஆர் டெக்னிக்கல் டேர்ம்ஸ். அந்த மாதிரி தான் இருக்கணும். சிவனை பத்தி சொல்ற போது சொன்னா, ஈஸிலி சாட்டிஸ்ஃபைடு ஆசு தோஷி அப்படின்னு சொல்லுவா. ஒரு 10 குடம் தண்ணியை தலையில ஊத்தி ஏதாவது கேட்டா உடனே கூட கொடுத்தாலும் கொடுத்துருவாரு அவரு. அபிஷேக பிரியர். அஃப்கோர்ஸ் தட் ஷோ இஸ் கம்பேஷன் டுவர்ட்ஸ் இஸ் டிவோட்டீஸ். அண்ட் அதே சமயத்துல விஷ்ணு வந்து அந்த மாதிரி அவ்வளவு ஈஸியா மசிய மாட்டார், ஒண்ணுமே கொடுக்க மாட்டார் அப்படின்னு சொன்னா. இஸ் ஆல்வேஸ் கேர்ஃபுல் வித் பீப்புள். அவருக்கு நிறைய தெரியுது. அந்த இதுல பஸ்மாசுரம் கதையும் சொன்னா இல்லையா, அதை தீட்டின மரத்தையே வெட்டுறது இப்படி நம்ம சொல்லுவோம் பாருங்க. அந்த கோடாலியை தீட்டுற போது அந்த மரத்துல தான் தீட்டிப்பானா, தீட்டிட்டு அந்த மரத்தையே திருப்பி விட்டுவானா. அந்த மாதிரி தானே அவர்கிட்ட வரத்தை வாங்கிட்டா அவர் தலையில கையை வைக்க போனா அப்படின்னு சொன்னா. இந்த பர்த்டே ஆஃப் கணேஷ் அந்த ஸ்டோரி இப்போதான் ஃபர்ஸ்ட் டைம் கேட்டேன். ஐ ஹவ் நாட் கம் அக்ராஸ் தட் ஸ்டோரி. அப்புறம் இந்த ராமனுக்கும் கிருஷ்ணனுக்கும் சொல்ற போது இப்போ ரீசெண்டா இப்போ 4 நாளைக்கு முன்னாடி வாட்ஸ்அப்ல ஏதோ பார்த்தேன். அதாவது அவதாரங்கள் எல்லாமும் தனிப்பட்ட முறையில மனுஷனா வரபோது அவளும் they also have to undergo all the trials and tribulations of the people. That is why Rama also suffered, Krishna also suffered, everything நடந்ததுன்னு சொல்லிட்டு இந்த வாலிபதத்தை பத்தி இப்போ நிறைய சொல்லி எல்லாம் பேச்செல்லாம் கண்ணாப்பண்ணால் வந்துருந்தது. லாட் ஆஃப் கான்ட்ரவர்சிஸ். அந்த வாலிபத்தை சொல்ற போது ஒளிஞ்சு நின்று அடிச்சா அப்படின்னு சொன்னா இல்லையா, அதை வந்து கிருஷ்ணாவதாரத்துல கனெக்ட் பண்ணார் ஒருத்தர். அதாவது கிருஷ்ணர் கடைசியில லாஸ்ட்ல when he was about to go back to வைகுந்தா he was resting in a wood. அவரோட கால் பாதம் மட்டும் அந்த ஒரு மானோட மூஞ்சி மாதிரி தெரிஞ்சுதான். அப்போ அந்த இவன் தான் திருப்பி பிறந்தானா. வாலி வந்து அந்த வேடனா பிறந்து அவன் வந்து சரி இது மானு நினைச்சுன்னு அடிச்சு விட்டானான். அடிச்சோடனே ஒரு காலில் அந்த அம்பு போய் அவர் he attains his bliss அப்படிங்கிற மாதிரி ஒன்று சொல்லிட்டு இருந்தா. அந்த மாதிரி when people don't, when even God comes down as avatars, they also have to meet all the test அப்படிங்கிறது நல்லா இருந்தது. இன்னும் சர்வம் கிருஷ்ணமயம்ங்கிறதுக்கு இன்னும் கொஞ்சம் எக்ஸ்ட்ராவா நிறைய சொல்லி இருக்கலாம் அப்படிங்கிறதும் என்னோட இதுதான். நிறைய ஏன்னா இதுக்கு அர்ஜுனனுக்கு ஆரம்பத்திலேயே ஒண்ணு கேட்பான் அவன், சூரியனுக்கு இதை சொன்னேன்னு சொன்னியே, சூரியன் எவ்வளவு வருஷ காலம் கல்பகாலமா இருந்துட்டு இருக்கான், நீ இப்பதானே இருக்கே அப்படின்னு கேட்டதுக்கு, உனக்கு தெரிஞ்ச என்னோட அவதாரம் இதுதான், நான் இந்த மாதிரி 1008 அவதாரம் எடுத்திருக்கேன் அப்படின்னு சொல்லிட்டு கிருஷ்ணன் சொல்ற மாதிரி அது வரும். அதனால அந்த ஒய் ஒன்லி கிருஷ்ணாங்கிறது அந்த இடத்துல ஆன்சர் ஆயிடுறது. அது கிருஷ்ணர் நம்ம பாக்குற இந்த 10th அவதாரா சொல்றோமே, கிருஷ்ணர் ஆஃப்டர் பலராமர் வர கிருஷ்ணர் வந்து நம்மளுக்கு தெரிஞ்சது அது ஒண்ணுதான். பட் தட் கிருஷ்ணா அவதார ஹஸ் ஹேப்பன்ட் மெனி டைம்ஸ் பிஃபோர் அப்படிங்கிற மாதிரி அவர் பகவத்கீதையில சொல்றார். அதனால அந்த இதுல ஆன்சர் ஆயிடுறது. Though it was a very small session, it was very sweet and filled with a lot of good things. I once again thank Madam. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Brindha. Okay. அதான் டிராவலிங்ல இருக்கும், கேட்டோம், கிளியரா கேட்க முடியல, நல்லா இருந்தது, வாஸ் குவைட் குட். கொஞ்சம் கிளாரிட்டி அதுக்கு டிராவலிங்ல இருக்கறனால ரொம்ப கிளியரா கேட்க முடியல. நல்லா இருந்ததா, நல்லா பேசினேன், இட் வாஸ் நைஸ். ஆல் தி பெஸ்ட்.
Thank you, Akka.
Okay. Next யார் சொல்லலாம்?
இது கேட்க முடியல, கொஞ்சம் தூங்கி வேற போயிட்டேன்.
Right. Move into the final segment of summarizing the presentation, proposing word of thanks. Mr. R. Subramanian will do the honors. Subramanian, sir, please go ahead.
எல்லாருக்கும் நமஸ்காரம். Very, as it has been already said by a couple of the speakers, that it is a very short and sweet lecture, and probably if you had been given more time, it could have been more elaborate, and probably we would like to hear the elaborate portion of it sometime. Mr. Srinivasan, பெங்களூர்லேருந்து கிருஷ்ணா நீ பேகனே பாரோன்னு சொல்லி அவரை வரவேற்று இங்கே உட்காந்து வச்சார், லெக்சரை கேட்கறதுக்கு வாங்கோன்னு வரவேற்று. அப்புறம் விஜயலட்சுமி மேடம் gave a very sweet and short introduction of you. We have heard that before, at least about 3-4 times in the past, nothing new to us. Coming to your lecture, நீங்க வந்து கீதையில சொன்னதை சொன்னேன், எல்லாத்தையும் எங்கிட்ட வா, என்ன சரண்டர் பண்ணு, அதுதான் உனக்கு ஒரே வழின்னு சொல்றதை சொன்னேன். நீங்க மைண்ட் இஸ் ஸ்கேட்டர்ட் ஈவன் வென் லிசனிங் டு த லெக்சர். Obviously, I don't know how many times my mind would have gone elsewhere and came back to your lecture. I am helpless in focusing. That has been the way we have been created. That's fine, but all the same, I've been listening to you all the way, madam. When we have the potential to be the best in our big confidence you give. That is a very great, I would say, ஒரு மருந்து மாதிரி இருக்கு. Everything comes with him and everything dissolves with him. இதை பற்றி நிறையா பேர் சொல்லியிருக்கா. சிலந்தி மாதிரி இருப்பார், அவரே கிரியேட் பண்ணுவார், அவரே உள்ளே எடுத்துப்பாருங்கிற பற்றி சொல்லியிருக்கா. நீங்கள் சாப்டர் 11 in கீதாவில் ஷார்ட் டைம் யூ டுவெல் இன் தட். அது வந்து கிருஷ்ணரை பற்றி சொல்லும்போது ரீசெண்டாக ஒரு கதை படித்தேன். ரீசென்ட்லி மீன் திஸ் மார்னிங். அவர் என்னென்ன முடியுங்கிறத பற்றி வந்து the perception is the one what it decides. He talks about a rich man and a not so rich man in a small village. The man who was not so rich, he was devoting a lot of time in praying God, but doing his duty all the time. Whereas the rich man used to do elaborate puja. But God was having his heart more towards the poorer guy, and he felt his prayers are more important. Narada asked him, நீங்க ஏன்பா அவருக்கு இம்பார்ட்டன்ஸ் கொடுக்குறேன்னு கேட்டா, உடனே நம்ம ஒன்று டெஸ்ட் ஒன்று பண்ணலாம், ஏன் கொடுக்குறேன்னு. இப்போ நீ ஒன்று பண்ணு, நீ நாளைக்கு காலம்பரை போய் அந்த ரிச் மேனை போய் கேளு, நான் என்ன பண்ணிட்டு இருக்கேன்னு கேளு. அவன் என்ன பண்ணிட்டு இருக்கான் அவனை கேட்பான். நான் ஊசி மனைக்குள்ள யானையை தள்ளிட்டு இருக்கேன்னு சொல்லு. That is what I am busy at. You get the answer from him, and also say the same thing to the poorer man who just to get the answers. He just went to the rich man first. He told him that how can you push the elephant inside the eye of the needle? அப்படி நாரதரா இருந்தாலும் there is logicனு ஒன்று இருக்கு இல்லையான்னு சொன்னா, he got that answer and he went to the poor man. He said it is quite possible. இத்தனைக்கும் இத்தனை பெரிய ஆலமரம் எதுக்குள்ள இருக்கு, ஒரு விதையில தான் இருக்கு. ஸோ இட் இஸ் குவைட் பாசிபிள். அண்ட் அவர் தன்னோட குழந்தையா இருக்கிற வாயிலையும் திருலோகத்தையும் காட்டினார். இவனுக்கும் அர்ஜுனனுக்கும் விஸ்வரூப தர்ஷனம் எடுத்துன்னு காட்டினார். ஸோ வாட் இஸ் நாட் பாசிபிள் ஃபார் காட்? திஸ் கொஸ்டின் itself is irrelevant and impertinent சொல்லிட்டான். Narada did not go back to Lord Vishnu. He said, I got the answer. Why you were having much favor to him or your heart towards him. And why Krishnamayam பத்தி சொன்னீங்க. You talked about Ashutosh. அவர் எப்பொழுதும் ஜபம் பண்ணிட்டு இருப்பார். அவர் இது அவதாரம் எல்லாம் எடுக்கல. ஈவன் சிவபெருமான் எடுக்கிறப்ப அவதாரம் எல்லாம் ஷார்ட் அவதார். உடனே எப்ப பார்த்தாலும் அவர் ரிஷபாரூடரா வந்துடுவார். சிறுத்தொண்டருக்கு பிள்ளைக்கறி கொடுத்தவனையும் சரி, கண்ணப்பனுக்கு முக்தி அளித்தவன் சரி, ஓல பெரிய புராணம் பார்த்தான்னா அவர் வராத இடமே கிடையாது. பட் அவதாரம் எடுக்கல, ஒரு ஃபிளாஷ் அவ்வளவுதானே தவிர்த்து nothing much. Whereas Vishnu took avatar. We always say Rama lived as a man, and that is why he never did any miracles in the whole of Ramayana, though he is known as a Purushottama because of all the qualities he had. And அவருக்கு எப்பொழுதும் தர்மத்துக்கு தர்மம் தான் பதில் சொல்லணுங்கிற மிகுந்த உயர்ந்த சிந்தனை உடையவர். அதனால்தான் அவரை புருஷோத்தமன் சொல்வார். கிருஷ்ணா அப்படி இல்லை. ஜெயத்ரதன் மறைஞ்சு அடிச்சானா, அவன் சக்கரவியூகத்துல அவனை போய் சூரியன் மறையறதுக்கு முன்னாடி சக்கரத்தால மறைச்சு சூரியாஸ்தமனம் ஆச்சு அவனை வெளியில வர பண்ணி கொள்றதுக்கும் அவர் தயங்கவே இல்லை. அவர் மேபி பீப்புள் சம்டைம்ஸ் சே நம்ம time was started moving towards Kali Yuga, so we had to practice something that will be more prevalent in Kali Yuga, more in a lighter way, people used to say. But the style with which they operated was different. And இவ சொல்றப்ப இங்க இவா கதையெல்லாம் சொன்னேன். நீங்க அந்த சம்பூர்ண அவதார் அப்படின்னு கிருஷ்ணாவதாரத்தை பற்றி சொன்னேன். அவன் சகாதேவன் தான் சொல்றான், நீ காரணம் இதெல்லாம். அவன் சொல்றான், எப்படி என்ன கட்டுவேன்னு கேட்கிறார் கிருஷ்ணன். அவன் வில்லிபுத்தூரா பாரதத்துல வருது, நிர்ணயம் கட்டுவேனாகில் மாபாரத போல் வாராமல் தடுக்கலாம் என்றான் சொல்லுவான். நீ பர்பஸே வேற, நீ மீதி எல்லாம் மாயக்கண்ணனான்னு ஏதோ நீ பண்ணிட்டு இருக்கே தவிர்த்து யுவர் பர்பஸ் பூபாரம் குறைக்கிறது. பூமியில நீங்க சொன்ன மாதிரி in between கஜேந்திர மோக்ஷம் is ஒரு flashy visit. அவர் தங்கிட்டு போல. I don't know whether to classify நரசிம்ம அவதாரம் அவர் ஒரு flashy visit தான். But we put it under avatar. Maybe that is the way நம்ம பெரியவாள்லாம் பண்ணிருக்கா. We will accept those things because they must have had their own reasons to have classified and different meaning to have been given. And இங்க ஜராசந்தனை பத்தி சொன்னேன் நீங்க. அப்புறம் பஸ்மாசுரனை பத்தி சொன்னேன். அவன் மோகினி அவதாரத்துல அவனை டான்ஸ் பண்ண சொல்லி. அதுக்கப்புறம் யூ செட் தட் விஷ்ணு இஸ் வெரி வெரி ரேஷனல். He thinks before he gives any of the boons. Whereas Shiva is a very cool guy. அவர் மெடிடேஷன்ல இருக்கார், வந்து எது வேணுமோ டக்கு 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 டக்குன்னு எஸ் 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 சொல்லிட்டு. பிரம்மா யூசஸ் இஸ் சென்ஸ்ன்னு சொன்னீங்க நீங்க. அதனாலதான் கும்பகர்ணன் எல்லாம் வேணும்னு உடனே அவனுக்கு நித்தியத்துவம்னு கேட்டவன சரஸ்வதியை போய் நாக்கில் உட்கார சொல்லி நித்ரத்துவம்னு கேட்டு அவன் மாடல தூங்கிட்டே இருந்தான் அப்படின்னு சொல்லுவா. ஐ திங்க் த ரீசன் ஃபார் வை யூ சோஸ் த டாபிக் சர்வம் கிருஷ்ணமயம்ங்கிறதுக்கு we got quite a lot of justification, madam. And of course, ஷண்மதத்தை ஆச்சாரியால் நிறுவினப்பயே இந்த தகராறுலாம் பார்த்து தான் நிறுவினார். அவர் வந்து ஒருத்தன் விஷ்ணு வஸ்திங்கிறான், ஒருத்தன் சிவன் வஸ்திங்கிறான். அதனால தான் சொன்னார், நீ சைவமா, கால் யுவர் செல்ஃப் சிவா இஸ் அ கிரேட். நீ வந்து வைஷ்ணவைடா, விஷ்ணு இஸ் அ கிரேட். சாக்தமா அப்படின்னு நீங்க ஒத்துக்கோங்க. பட் பிலீவிங் சம்திங் விச் இஸ் அப்சல்யூட் இஸ் மோர் இம்பார்ட்டன்ட்ங்கிறத அதுல வந்து ஒரு பெரிய ஒரு தத்துவம் நமக்கு தெரியறது. அப்புறம் பார்வதி கால்ஸ் அ பார்ட்டி. பார்ட்டி காலங்காத்தாலேயே கூப்பிட்டுட்டா, நம்மூர் பார்ட்டி போல இருக்குது. அது வந்து ஒரு லஞ்சுக்கு கூப்பிட்டு இருந்தா. கணேஷ் வந்து ஆஸ் யூஸ்வல் அந்த கூட்டத்துல தான் இல்லை. இவர் அந்த விஷ்ணுவோட ரெப்ரசன்டேட்டிவ் சாப்பிடாம கிளம்பி போனார். சில பேர் இந்த மாதிரி வந்துட்டு ஒரு ருபாவ் பண்ணிட்டு போவா. அவளை இது பண்றது ரொம்ப சிரமமா இருக்கும். அப்ப சொல்ற பக்த பீஜத்துல ஒரு கதை ஒண்ணு வரும். அவன் வந்து சிவனை தவிர்த்து ஒத்தரையும் வணங்க மாட்டான். அவருக்கு வந்து ஒரு ஒட்டியான மாதிரி ஒண்ணு பண்ணி போடணும் அப்படிங்கிறப்ப அவனை கண்ணை கட்டின்னு கூட்டின்னு போனா அவன் ஃபீல் பண்ணி அதை பண்ணினா அவனுக்கு அது சிவன் மாதிரியே தெரிஞ்சது. அப்புறம் அவனுக்கு அந்த ஒரு ஞானம் தோணித்து, அறியும் சிவனை ஒண்ணுதான், அறியாதவன் வாயில மண்ணுங்கிற ஒரு பெரிய ஒரு கான்செப்ட் அவனுக்கு தோணித்துன்னு. நம்ம வந்து பக்த விஜயத்துல நிறைய கதைகள் இருக்கு. எல்லாம் வெரி சிம்பிள் ஸ்டோரிஸ். அதுல எல்லாமே நாட் தட் வி டோன்ட் நோ. அதை படிக்க 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 வந்துட்டே இருக்கும். எல்லாரும் இருக்கு அதுல. அதுவும் பெரிய புராணமும் கிட்டத்தட்ட ஒரே இதான். இந்த குரூப் சேர்ந்தவா, இந்த மதத்தை சேர்ந்தவா, இந்த தொழில் சேர்ந்தவா, ஒரு கணக்கும் கிடையாது. பக்தி ஒண்ணுதான் பிராதான்யமா சொல்லப்பட்டு வர்றது. அப்புறம் வந்து அவங்க போன உடனே அங்க விநாயகர் ஆதிசேஷன்ல பார்த்தா அவனுக்கு வந்து அந்த ஒரு ஆல் ஆர் சேம்ங்கிற விஸ்டம் உதிச்சுதுங்கிற கதையை சொன்னீங்க நீங்க. டிபெண்டிங் ஆன் த புராணா யூ செட் presiding deity is the highest. பத்ம புராணத்துல சிவா condescends and says Vishnu is the highest form of deity and you should pray him அப்படின்னு சொல்றதா சொன்னேன். இதெல்லாம் நமக்கு ஒரு மைண்ட் ஒத்துக்கணுங்கிறதுக்காக தவிர்த்து when you talk about, when you go to a higher level, all these things do not mean anything. We talk about spirituality. Upanishad does not talk about any god as such. Where நீங்க வந்து நீங்க சொல்ற மாதிரி ரிவர் போய் கடல்ல சேர்ந்ததுக்கு அப்புறம் அது எல்லாம் கடல் தான். அது once you reach that level of consciousness, then you think everyone is the same. You don't differentiate and see things. That point you brought out very well. And Murugan, whenever you want to take a role, you must be given proper place and seat and respect to teach. If you are lower, you cannot play your role very effectively. That is the reason many of the people who are very particular about the job never accept to teach the rich boys, because they had to stoop down in their level to teach the boy, because the teaching is of a different level. You should be able to play the role as you would be able to those days. Beat up the child, or your purpose is to impart knowledge and make that boy come to a level for which you need authority, you need supremacy, and you need everything. And Muruga as a Tamil Kadavul ensured that thing is thing, and he became இங்க வந்து சாமிநாதனா வந்து இது பண்ணினான்னு சொல்லுவா. The third story is a very thought-provoking story, whether we need to evaluate ourselves, whether we are the pilgrim or a tourist. It's a very difficult question to answer. If you are a pilgrim, you need to have the camera or a mirror. You need to decide. And of course, one need to do a lot of introspection to understand the simile what you gave. And you said when the mirror is remove the image, everything disappears. Maybe there is much more meaning in what your guru taught. What we caught is the common knowledge of what it is all about. I am sure there must have been much deeper meaning in what he said. Probably we'll explore. If you are not able to explore during the lecture, spend a few minutes of your time and enlighten us what is the real meaning behind it. And we would like to listen to you more. We wouldn't press you for time so that you feel comfortable to come and talk to us. We have always enjoyed your talk, and you have given a lot of stories so that whether we remember the message or not, through the story we go to the message which stays with us. And as a person who has to thank, I'm thankful to Mr. Srinivasan, Mr. Vijayalakshmi Madam, and of course, you who have spent some valuable time with us in telling us some of the valuable messages. And as our leader, Mr. Subbu says, Dil mangte more. We all need more and more things, and we love to listen to you more. And thanks to one and all who have been helpful in making this evening a very pleasant one and more a learning one. Thanks a lot, ma'am. Have a nice evening. Bye.
Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you, Subramanian sir, for the wonderful summation as always. Thank you, Brindha, for your valuable time. Thank you, Vijayalakshmi Madam, for the introduction, and Srinivasan sir for the prayer. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for joining the show. The recording will be uploaded to YouTube sometime tomorrow. The link will be provided. Kindly share the link as widely as possible. And as a wrap up, all of us over here, until we meet next, here's wishing you all goodbye, good night, and Shubh Ratri.